Not to be disrespectful, but I grew up in an abusive home.
Okay.
So it's affected a lot of things. I feel like when I was growing up, I had a lot of academic success. I was the kind of child that they knew had to be a child genius. So those periods of time when I win something and make my parents proud, I think that's one of the few times I have a break from the harsh reality of the childhood.
It is our Naija podcast. Today, myself, yes, Chinwe Blessing, doing this with my gorgeous, delectable co-host. Hey, gorgeous.
Hello, my name is Adanna. I'm the founder of the African Hair Summit, and I'm super excited to be here.
What's there not to be excited about? Looking like a snack. 10 plus 10 minus nothing. Look at your steez. We're talking about steez. Our guest is in the house. We're going to be having a chat with her over the length of this podcast. You know her. If you think you don't know her, I'm putting it to you that you have to know her. She is a singer, songwriter, and barrister at law. We're talking of no other person but Barrister Ifunaya Granta. Hey, gorgeous.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Oh, Jesus, here voice. All right, honey. So, your name is Ifunaya.
Yes, that's my name.
And you are Igbo.
Yes, I'm Igbo.
From
Abia State. Otutu in Abia State.
Otutu in Abia State. Are you like me that is from Nsukka but doesn't know Nsukka, or you like grew up and you know your place?
I know my place well.
Well, all right. Talk to us about, run us through growing up. What was it like growing up, becoming barrister, Ifunaya?
Well, I won't lie and say that it was beautiful, because it was not. But it had some good days, some good times.
What stands out for you?
I feel like when I was growing up, I had a lot of academic success. I was the kind of child that they knew had to be a child genius. So those periods of time when I win something and make my parents proud, I think that's one of the few times I have a break from the harsh reality of the childhood.
What was so harsh about your childhood that being so, good in school made you, take a break from growing up or from being a child?
I feel like not to be disrespectful, but I grew up in an abusive home.
Okay.
So it's affected a lot of things growing up.
So, now that we are grown, we have learned that there are different types of abuse. There's like emotional abuse, there's physical abuse, which, we both say is physical abuse. All our parents were giving us. My mother was told you whatever is close to her. And I think almost every African child that grew up in the 80s or in the 90s can attest to that.
Yes.
So when you say abusive, what kind of abuse?
Who was being abused?
Yeah,
actually?
yeah. Who was abusing?
Okay.
Let's start there.
Well, I would say that my parents were the ones being abusive, and I don't really blame them much, because I believe they were going through whatever they were going through too. So yes, but it was basically abuse, neglect, and a whole lot of weight that a child is not supposed to be bearing on their shoulders. So
when you say a lot of weight, I really want to get into it. I feel like there's like, you're not giving me everything. I see me like this. I like gist. I like gist. I want to know, like, what stood out. I know that when I think about my childhood trauma, there are certain scenarios that would stand out. You'd be like, I remember when this happened to me. For example, once my dad beat me up, and for real, my dad beat the living daylight out of me. They took me to the hospital and the doctors asked for police reports. That's the kind of beating I received. So whenever I think about childhood trauma, I'm like, that man decked me. But you then, when you think back and what informs the thought that you were abused? Give me a story here.
Well, I don't really want to go into much of stories, because I don't want it to be like I'm embarrassing my parents or making them appear very bad. But I know that sometimes as a parent, your actions really influence your children. And when you're a parent, like me, when I grew up, I can't really say I can remember my mom being nice or sweet. Like, every memory I have of her as a child, she was always mean, angry about one thing or the other. And now that I'm an adult, I understand that it may not have been easy for her, raising children. It's not easy to be a mother. I understand. So I don't really blame her, but still, at the same vein, it's kind of frustrating and just discouraging for you to be a child and feel like you can never be good enough for your parents. They're always shouting, always complaining, even when you're just chilling and you're not doing anything. So I feel like a lot of things, though, I'd rather not go into, but...
Okay, now I know that you had some scandal on social media
Yes,
where you
I did.
mentioned your dad
Yes.
and you called him names. Where were you emotionally when that happened? We want to get into your head and know like what you were, where you were at. Because those were very strong words for you to have used on your father.
I don't
True.
think that's like where she was at per se. I feel like she must have grown up with
Yes.
that mindset and with those feelings, right? And the thing is, we're not really taught how to express those feelings, or maybe, go and see a therapist and all of that. Those things are not really
Thought?
like, they're not really like a thing in
Yes,
Nigeria.
True.
And I feel like every household needs a therapist because
True.
of the kinds of things that a lot of, African
people
children
were-
may have been through. So I feel like her saying that was just, and I'm speaking for you because I think I understand your pain.
Yeah.
It's just a level of frustration, and you feel like you
Which-
wish you had a different childhood and you just can't change it.
Which is like the question, where was she at? I didn't mean physically. I didn't mean
Okay,
like the major. I meant like
understand.
in your head,
Yeah.
mentally. What were you going through? What were you trying to process at the time that you used such strong words to like describe your dad?
Well, at that moment, like when I made the song, I just got the beats and I was in my room, and I've made so many songs about my situation because I feel music is supposed to be honest. But that day, I don't just know, he just came into my head and everything just happened. Like, I didn't set out to insult him. The word just came to the tip of my tongue, and
But did you feel better after you said all those things about him?
not really, because at the end of the day, towards my parents, like my dad especially, I feel sad about him because I know that he's a victim of his circumstance, and I know that he feels like he can't do any better, and it makes me sad because I understand where he comes from. But I'm also past the point of making excuses for someone who is grown and can, do better if you choose to. So
are you still like hoping that he'll change? Because what you said now is like, someone that can do better. So I feel like there's still some sort of hope there, and you're just waiting for him to make a 360-degree change, and then, you have that special daddy-daughter moment, before.
Did you ever have it though?
no, honestly not. Like, my father was my biggest up. No offense, but we're not even. Nah. I don't think I've ever felt any. Well, maybe I have, but I don't think we're ever close at all.
Recently, it was Father's Day, and I know a lot of people were posting stuff. A lot of people were hosting Twitter Spaces. People were, just talking about their fathers. What does it do to you when you see that? Does it trigger something? Do you feel like, well, maybe that's something I should have experienced, but it was taken away from me, and then it has made me just.
Or have you
hurt?
gotten over it?
I don't think you can ever get over it. If, like a child, if you grew up in abuse, especially if it's your own parents are the ones abusing you, it really affects who you are to the very core. It takes a lot for you to unravel it and, start believing that you are worthy of certain things. So I don't think you can ever change. But me, I've just accepted the fact that I may never see any kind of love from my parents, ever. And it doesn't matter what I do. Even when I was good, even when now I'm bad,
Oh,
it's
wow.
still the same.
That's strong.
It's still
Why
the
would
same.
why would you say you're bad?
Well, I mean, from the way people see me. So I just feel,
Do you think you've put out anything there for people to see you in that way?
I feel like for the most part, I'm very misunderstood. And it's like, I'm cool with it though, because I don't even really want everybody to understand me.
Sorry.
Excuse me. But, I mean, this is what it is.
Have you tried having conversations with your father or I'm talking your father now because that was the person you addressed in like your song,
Yeah.
and that was what made the rounds. But have you tried having a sit down with him and say, these are the things you did, this is how strongly I feel like it made me feel, and this is how you have affected my life with your decisions. How did the conversation go, if there was a conversation?
Talking to my parents is like talking to a rock. Because
That's what I was trying to say. She's talking about, she's hopeful that he's going to change. So, like, I feel like that is the problem, the outlet. She's not able to have that conversation. And that's why she's singing, you know, putting her message through the music, hoping that he listens to it and maybe he hears her a little bit.
And you know,
And
being that you said you felt relief being a smart kid, like an intelligent kid.
Yeah.
But is that what pushed you to doing law? Like somewhere inside you is like, oh, maybe if I end up being a lawyer, a barrister, they're going to see me as something worth their attention or
You're
worth
thinking
their
of
love.
you're thinking of suing your parents.
well, no, not really. I didn't sue them, but
Did you want to
You're
know?
thinking
I actually, what I did was one time I wrote them a letter and told them that I disowned them because I told them that I know that they don't want me as their child. So let me first of all make it easy for them and tell them that I'm no longer a part of them. But they didn't really, my mom was like, no, my dad was like, no, but it ended there. So not really. I didn't really
How many
study law
kids?
for them. Okay, we are 4.
Do you feel like it's just you?
No.
They do, like all of you.
Everybody that comes to my house, everybody that grew up in that house, they all carry the wound of growing up there. It's very hard.
So do you think, what has this pushed you into? Like, you think there's been like some sort of, you know, okay, these are the consequences for the style of upbringing, you know, and you're trying to send that message to your parents through your actions and saying, well, this is what you get for everything you've done.
Well, not really. It's not like I'm trying to deliberately revenge, you know. But I feel like the way I grew up, there was a lot of neglect. There was a lot of control. There was a lot of harsh things that a child isn't supposed to see. And what it did for me, I don't know about my other siblings, but what it did for me is that it made me very rebellious, because sometimes if you're too oppressed, which is what I believe is going to happen in this country soon. But if there's too much oppression, it makes you want to revolt. And when you revolt, things are always taken too far. So I feel like that's how I got here.
So you think that was you revolting, and even if you didn't think you were revolting, but that was you just reacting to the situation, like in your face, you know, I don't care, I'm not sorry, you know, yeah?
For me, it started like when I used to have someone like my dad. He would beat you for nothing. Like, there are times I won't even do anything and he would start to beat me. And, you know, as a child, if you try to say, I didn't do anything, they'll say, shut up, you're insulting me, you're being rude. So one of the, like, for me, when it started, was one time they would beat me and I'll be like, what kind of thing is this? Like, I didn't even do anything. So the next time they beat me, I started revolting. Sometimes we wear a lot of sweater so that the cane will not enter. Or sometimes you hold the cane, or sometimes you not cry. Because someone like my dad, if he's beating you and you're not crying, he will beat you times 2. And he will tell you, so you want to show me that you're wise? So I'll deliberately make sure that I don't shed any tears. So I'll anger him. So I think that's how everything started. So you just start feeling like all this thing is bullshit and I'm tired of it.
Do you think there's anything they would have done different even after they started off? Like maybe when you were done with secondary school, get into the university, or do you think there's something they could have done that would have just changed the course? Because you sound to me like someone who doesn't necessarily, you don't want to be in the place where you are in. It's not something you don't want to be this person, but you just feel like, well, this is how did Burna Boy say? We're the monsters you made. This is what you've made me to become. Do you feel there's something they could have done at any point?
Well, I feel like they had lots of opportunities even till now, so far as they are not dead. But I feel like what they did is a product of who they are. It's their character. It's deeper than just beating your child. It comes from your own pain, your own trauma, the way you're feeling. Because if you feel good with yourself, you won't be tormenting other people. So I feel like it all goes down to who you truly are. So
but then what are you doing about your trauma now? Besides writing music, of course.
Well, for me, what I do is just to be myself, because at the end of the day, I can't deny any experience. Everything that has happened has happened. All of it comes together to make the human experience I'm experiencing. So I feel like what I'm doing.
There's a question I'd like to ask you, like about your parents, and you're talking about your upbringing.
Yeah.
So do you think that they, they were giving you what they had? They say there's a saying that goes, you can't give what you don't have.
Yes.
So maybe that was how they were brought up, and have you looked at his siblings and their family?
Yes.
It's like very, very, chaotic over there.
Yes,
Isn't it?
indeed, it
So
is.
so he's a product of
Their
his
own environment.
exactly, upbringing. So I think
Do you want to have
that's
a family?
basically what has happened.
Well, for me, right now, no, I don't think I want to.
Is that from a good place or a bad place?
It's from a lot of things, but I just don't feel like, no, I can't. I don't want to.
Mm. I guess, just correct me if I'm wrong, it's more like you don't know if you'd be able to make the right decisions for the kids you're going to have.
Yes.
And you don't want to risk having them and
Don't want
spoiling
them to do
them.
the same thing.
ruining them.
True.
Yeah.
You're very right.
Got that. Now let's talk about the NBA. Are you a member of the NBA?
Yes, if you're called to bar, you're automatically a member.
Automatically, it's not that you go and just join
No.
the NBA.
It's Nigerian Bar Association.
Yeah. Wouldn't that, some people would argue that means that you have to be a member of the bar to be able to join the association
Yes.
of the bar,
Yes.
right? So being a lawyer that's been called to the bar
Yes.
just qualifies you to be a member of the association, right? So have you ever picked up a form for the Nigerian Bar Association and joined the
No,
association?
of course not.
Oh, so you haven't. So that would just clear the disparity here where the Nigerian Bar Association said, oh, well, Ifunaya Granta is not a member of our association.
Well, because I'm not registered in any branch because I'm not practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that just clears it out.
Yes.
So when there was the whole back and forth about, oh, you were disbarred, oh, the Nigerian Bar Association has flogged you out, how did that make you feel? And I'm asking this question because cyberbullying has become a norm, and a lot of people don't understand that irrespective of how popular a person is, they are a person, right?
Yeah.
That is popular. How did that backlash affect you?
Well, to be honest, it was bad. At first, I wasn't taking it serious, to be honest. I was just laughing. But then when I saw the letter that they wrote me, I knew that these people were serious. So I started hoping that the worst will not happen.
What was the worst?
The worst, like, disbarring me now.
So do you practice?
No, I don't practice.
Do you intend to practice?
For now, no.
Why did you not do the law to the law school level? That's my own question. 'Cause why would you go that far? Law school is hard.
It is. It is.
And you passed
I
first
did.
sitting.
Yeah.
Why?
For me, when I came out of secondary school, I did arts, and my mom told me do a professional course. The only professional course in arts was law. So I was like, So from onset, I didn't really plan to go in full time. I just did it. So when I got to after school for law school time, you cannot abandon it halfway now. So I said, let me just finish it up and I'm done.
So when did you discover your passion for music?
Okay, I always made music ever since I was young. But secondary school, like SS2, SS3 was the main time when I really knew that I liked it.
So that's basically who you are now.
Well, that's not all I am. It's just a part. I'm still trying to master it because I'm still new. So it's just a part of me too.
So is there one thing that you wish you could take back? Just one
All
thing
these years?
that has happened in your life, because you're talking about your upbringing and how you may have reacted and how you may have expressed yourself. So is there one thing you wish, I wish I was more careful about this, or I wish because now I feel like you're becoming someone who's much better than who she was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that one thing that you say, I wish I could take this back, and then obviously letting the viewers and letting people know that she is taking this back and becoming a better person, a better version of herself.
Yeah. For me, I would say personally, where I am, I don't wish to take anything back, because if certain things didn't happen, I wouldn't know certain things and I wouldn't be where I am. So all of the experiences, the good and the bad, I'm glad I had them, no matter how hard, because it only sharpens me, it only makes me better.
So it shaped who you are.
Yes.
So what are we expecting from you going forward?
Well, I don't know. Me, I don't even know what I expect from myself. But
You're just living life as it comes.
yeah.
If you could talk to younger Ifunaya, if you could just have a sit down with, say, 15-year-old you, what are you going to tell her?
First of all, I know that she'll be so happy to see me because there were times we thought we wouldn't even make it, and then honestly, what I would do is to give her a very big hug, like just a big hug. That's the only thing I can do, like just comfort her.
You're actually very beautiful.
Thank you.
You're
So are
actually
you?
very sweet. And, I mean, even if nothing, just take this from all of what we've said today, that, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, because a lot of people, forget what the trends are online, the thing is that people are out there who are celebrities, who are successful, in whatever their professions are, that have been through worse.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? And for some reason, they just found strength. It wasn't as if the journey was very smooth.
Of course.
And it's not like it's still smooth, but, they rose above that. And they moved past that upbringing, the issues they had with their parents, and all those types of stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So I'm hoping that you're going to be able to move past all that negative energy, because there's a lot of negative energy, trust me.
There's a lot of unhealed
It
trauma.
is a lot of pain, a lot of anger. I'm sure that sometimes she cries to sleep because there's sometimes, you're just out of frustration, you can't change things. There's nothing as bad as being in a situation you can't change. And this is my situation for as long as it is my situation. So I'm just saying, just take that and know that people just like you who have been through worse, maybe have come out of it stronger without giving back that negative energy. And I think you can do it as well. This is the lady I'm sitting next to.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Just before I round up, where do we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Funaya_, on TikTok, Funaya5, and on Snapchat, Funaya Cutie.
Well.
I'll choose Snapchat. I like the cutie part.
I mean, I'll follow you everywhere. Because I do. And make sure you follow us everywhere else. All our information is going to be scrolling down your screen right about now. Keep it locked. It is our Naija podcast, Chinwe Blessing.
Adanna and Weso.
And our gorgeous guest,
Ifunaya Granta.
there you have it. Have a beautiful day, people.